All right, again, welcome to today's class. This is Command Website 101 class. So we're going to be going through setting up the website through the command platform. If your website is already set up, we'll go through how to make sure all your pages are live, make some quick edits, and just make sure all your information is displaying exactly how you want it to. And to begin, we'll want to sign into command. So that's at agent.kw.com. And you can sign in with your KW username and password. So I'll give you a moment to get signed in here as well if you're following along. So I generally start each class by going over the marketing profile. And for the website, the marketing profile is going to be huge because it actually feeds all the information to the website. So we're going to start by making sure your marketing profile is set up and ready to go. So let's go ahead and access that marketing profile. So to do so, we're going to go up to the name in the top right corner of command. And we're going to go to settings. So this is the settings page here. We're going to go to the left-hand side, go to Connect Settings, and Marketing Profile. So again, that's Settings, Connect Settings, and Marketing Profile. So this page may look familiar for some of you guys, which is great, and others may not have been in here yet, which is perfectly fine. So one thing I do want to mention is that if you are seeing that your marketing profile is completely blank, we do have a questionnaire where we can take care of this setup for you. Or you can, if you want to plug in your information as we go, that works too. But we do have a questionnaire to set this up for you if you're interested. But this is essentially your ground zero for marketing. So this is something you want to make sure is completely filled out and correct, as this not only feeds to your website, but also smart plans, email campaigns, the app, and more. So these all pull from the marketing profile. So to get started, first things we'll see here is a headshot. If you don't have a headshot currently, no problem. A KW logo works. Your headshot is going to be fit into a square or circular unit in every piece of marketing. So to ensure that the headshot displays correctly without distorting, you'll want to crop your headshot into a perfect square before adding it. So however it looks here is how it's going to look on all marketing, and we've seen that looks best with a perfect square, so it doesn't get all distorted. Team logo is a different case here, so this does not have to be a perfect square. It can be, but it doesn't matter. So how it looks here is not how it's going to appear on your marketing. This will auto adjust itself based on the marketing material. So really the headshot really needs to be a perfect square. Other than that, you're good to go. Also, if you don't have a team logo, just a heads up, it will unfortunately state image not found depending on the marketing piece. So if you don't have a team logo added, you can add the realtor logo here. We've seen that very commonly, the fair housing logo, a KW logo, so whatever you'd like. But adding something here will avoid that from happening on your marketing materials. And that notes sheet that we have does have those logos included if you need them. So underneath that, this is all pretty straightforward. So this is your name. So you'll, of course, want to make sure you have your first and last name added in here. So one thing I will mention with this My Details section, specifically if you are with a board or state that requires specific verbiage on your actual marketing, to make sure you're following that for compliance. So for example, if you go by Joe, but your name is Joseph and your board requires you to have your full legal name on all marketing materials, just make sure that you are following that exactly here. especially if you're someone who goes by a middle name or something. Just make sure you're meeting compliance. Same with license numbers. So some states and boards may require licenses to be formatted a certain way. Just make sure you're following that as well. But you'll see if you happen to be active in multiple market centers, like Lori here, she has both state licenses added. So you can definitely do that. All right, team name. So if you're not on a team, that's totally fine, but we do recommend that you put something here, as this will be the title of your site's drop-down menu. And I'll point that out later as well. But that being said, if you're not on a team, you could put your name here, your market center name, whatever you'd like, just something there so the drop-down menu does have a title. For a job title, so make sure you're using whatever is compliant in your area again. So if you have to use realtor with that trademarked R, or if you're in an area that has to have licensed real estate representative, whatever it may be, just make sure you're adding that here. Also a spot for designations if you have them. Military affiliations. So if you are with the military, you can select that. If not, you can just leave that blank. But if you are with the military, you can choose whatever applies to you. And it will also let you select the branch. So feel free to add that in. For the bio, so if you don't have a bio written yet, that's completely fine. You guys can plug this in later on. So any of this information that we're updating right now can be updated at any time. So no worries. If you do have something here, even if it's just a placeholder, you'll want to make sure that's displaying exactly how you'd like it, because this information will pull over to the website today. Again, everything we do today is not set in stone and can be updated at any time and as frequently as you'd like. So no worries. So next we have some contact information. So you'll see that this red asterisk here, these are all required fields. So mobile phone and office phone are required. That being said, they don't have to be formatted. So Command will do that for you. For example, on the website, those phone numbers will be clickable, so clients can click and call you straight from the site. So Command will reformat these phone numbers for you, so they don't need to be in any certain format. For email, this is whatever email you are planning to correspond with your clients with. So it does not have to be your KW email. However, if that's the one you're planning to use for business, that's what you'll want to put here. So for website, this is what we'll be setting up today. However, chances are you may have a URL already populating here. Just means that you may have a shell of a website already set up. One thing I will mention, if you are using the command provided URL, meaning the URL ending in .kw.com, you'll want to make sure that the www in front of it is removed. So if you have www in front of these URLs ending in .kw.com, that will actually pull up an error message. So you want to make sure that's set up properly without the www in front. Another thing to mention, the HTTPS for domains ending in .kw.com. To include this HTTPS, so I'm going to add in that S. That's just going to make sure your website's clickable on all marketing materials, which makes it a little easier for clients to access that. If you have a custom domain here or a custom website that you'll be using for business, that can be put in this field instead. So if you're not using the command website, no worries, you can put that website here. Brokerage information. So this will be all about your market center. So the Market Center logo is just like the team logo. This is not how it will display on all marketing material. It will auto adjust based off the marketing material. And then we got brokerage name, we got brokerage number over here for brokerage address. You want to be sure this is the physical address that your office is, that you're practicing real estate out of. So if you just transferred or you practice out of a business center maybe, you'll want to put that address here. Also, make sure it's not a home address. So we want to make sure it's a business address that goes on all marketing. Scroll down, and underneath that, you'll find compliance. So this is going to be completely based on your state and board. So there's really no blanket option for this. The compliance section will show up on everything. So smart plan, campaigns, app, website. This will display everywhere. So a one-stop shop for that information. For legal text, if your office requires specific text to be on your marketing, this is a great place to put it. Lori has license in Oregon and Washington, which is great because that will go on all marketing. Legal footer links. So this is great for Texas agents. So if you need your Texas Real Estate Commission links added in, it can be added in here, and you can add in multiple links. So if maybe you have a vendor or maybe a PDF on COVID protocols or whatever that may be, you can link that here and you can add multiple links. So not just for Texas agents, you can use that however you see fit. Footer images. So this is going to show up on the very bottom of your website. Just a heads up, they do show up very tiny. So it displays 128 by 48 pixels. So this is like a thumbnail size. That being said, you can add required legal images here. I believe I've only seen this for Maine. From what we've seen, I think they require the IDX logo and the equal housing logo. But if you're licensed in another state, I've also seen agents use this for designation logos. It's a great way for them to add it to all marketing. So, scrolling down, we got social. So this is for your social media links. Just a bit of advice here. I personally would recommend making sure that whatever social media profile you're adding here is business related. So if you haven't gotten a chance to create a business related profile, meaning a profile that is strictly for real estate, I'd recommend holding off. Again, this is going to go on all your marketing, so personal pages are kind of the gray area. If you haven't created one yet, don't panic. You can insert these at any point. But you will want to have the full URL. So not just the handle that you have, you'll want the full URL as well. And then we have the option for Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And for YouTube, as long as your channel is real estate geared, we've seen agents do things like open house walkthroughs, which is great, or even like market value updates, whatever that may be, you can plug your YouTube channel in here. And then for LinkedIn, any profile you have on LinkedIn is going to be a business profile, so you'll be good to go here. Google Analytics. So Google Analytics is a fantastic tool. It tracks the traffic on your website. So when clients are clicking around on your website, it actually tracks it. So no worries if you haven't set it up yet. You can set this up later today. I've also included a tip video in the notes that goes over setting this up. So if you are in the live today, put those in again, just so you have it. And then if you're watching the recording, those notes will be under this video. And if you did make any changes, make sure you're clicking on save. You'll want to click save if you make any updates at all. We'll just get this pop-up that basically said it's all been saved and it's letting you know it's ready to go. Last but not least, before we actually jump into the website, this toggle in the top right corner, you'll see use my information to brand my agent site. Make sure this is a green bubble. If it's not a green bubble, it will prevent all this information from being on your marketing. So if it's gray, just click it and it will toggle over to be green. And with that, let's go to the consumer section. So to get to the consumer section, you can click on the top left red KW if you're not familiar with these icons quite yet. And we can go to consumer. I may just need to refresh my page here. There we go. And this is the consumer section. So you'll come to the screen. It may look exactly like this, or it may look different. Either way is totally fine. It first brings up the agent site pages that are currently set up. So mine are currently set up, that's why you can see those. But if you don't see any pages, no problem. The process we're going through today will set up these pages if you don't have them. And if you do already have them, the process we go through today will allow you to customize them and give you a little more information if you'd like to spot check them. So at the end of the day, either way, you'll have a fully functioning website. So to do this, let's go over to Site and App Settings. And then we're going to want to click Learn More with Kelly Guides. So Site and App Settings, Learn More with Kelly Guide. And we'll pick Agent Site for this. And continue. Now I'm in Firefox today, so it's giving me this pop-up. If you're in Chrome, it may not. No worries. So this first page is just giving an overview of what we'll be doing today. So we'll be choosing a subdomain or URL for the site, looking at theme and styling and background images on the site. And then we'll also set up those 3 pages that we were just looking at. And at the end, it will be live. So let's get started. So this is just a compliance reminder. You may have seen this when you turned on your marketing profile. It's just letting you know that all the info that you add to your website does need to be in compliance because it will be a live website. So if you are questioning whether you are able to add something to the website, I'd recommend holding off until you talk to your broker in charge. All right. So I'm also going to pull up this website in another tab, just so as we're going through it, I can point out all the things that we're updating as we're going. So one thing I do want to just go ahead and point out, those logos did auto adjust for us. So even though it looked a little wonky on the marketing profile, it did auto adjust on the website. And just to make sure we're all together here. So yeah, we are on the consumer section, and then site and app settings, and then Kelly Guide for agent. So it's going to be the agent site that we're updating, not the consumer settings. So choosing the subdomain. So this is choosing your URL for your website. So if you have something here, that's fine. You can tweak it, you can change it. If you can't confirm it, though, it actually won't let you move on to the next section. So if you do have something here, I typically just delete a letter and add it back so I can confirm that domain. If you do make changes to the website URL in this section, it will take 30 to 45 minutes to launch the website. So in other words, when we go to check on those pages and it's not working, don't panic. It does take 30 to 45 minutes if the URL has been changed. But it will take your new URL into consideration. So again, just a couple things to point out. These do not work with www. So make sure that's not in front of it on business cards. Also, it ends in .kw.com, not just .com. If you purchased a custom URL, that's a different story, but these command website URLs do not have www and end in .kw.com. So with that, we can confirm our domain so we can move forward. And it will say, congrats, you've claimed your subdomain, which is perfect. And then we can expand this marketing profile drop down. So if you click on the marketing profile information, it's going to expand this down. And this is what's great about filling out your marketing profile first. So it all feeds to this section, which all feeds to the homepage of your website. So since we already filled this out and we're just going to make sure it all pulls over correctly. So basically just spot checking this. So everything looks great. Got the team name. Numbers look good. So everything looks great. Everything I added to the marketing profile did pull over, even Facebook. One thing you'll see here at the bottom, you'll see your app URL. So this automatically links to your website, which is actually pretty great. So it avoids confusion or the wrong app URL being used. So this is actually not editable. So this automatically links your branded URL. Well, let's go ahead and once we spot check this, make sure everything looks good, we can go ahead and click Save and Continue. Style and theme. So there are just two options for the theme right now, and they are very similar. So we have a red theme. So this is just going to make all the accent colors red on your site, or a dark theme, and that's just going to make it the accent colors like a charcoal coral gray, kind of almost like a black. So depending on which one you want to select, you can just click the bubble. You can also toggle between these down the line. So after setting up the website, I'll show you how to make quick edits to the site without having to go through this full process. So whichever you select here, no worries, you can change that at any time, and I'll show you how. So homepage text. So here's just a heads up. This is a preview on the left-hand side of and this is the editor on the right-hand side. So what we're editing over here, this is like a preview of what that looks like on the site. So for the homepage text, you'll see this is the text that shows up smack in the center of the website. So essentially what your clients will see first. So if you have a team name, maybe a catchy phrase, maybe a slogan, whatever it may be, you go for it. Just to show you what you're updating. So on the live site, this is the Find Your Dream Home. Again, this can be updated down the line. So nothing we do today is set in stone. You can be updated. Hero images. So this is just essentially the background images that display behind this text. So they scroll, and you can have up to 5 here. So just a heads up, a couple things here. The recommended size is 1200 by 1200. Personally, we've noticed that the size more is better at 1200 to 600, so more of a rectangular shape instead of a square. If your photo is not exactly that size, no worries, just plug it in and it will allow you to crop it to fit on the website, and you'll be able to see how that looks. So you can always plug it in and just see how that looks. But we have seen that rectangular photos look better than square. And again, you can add up to 5 images. So if you are wanting to upload a couple images, you'll need to delete a couple first. So if you wanted to add one in, you would just need to delete one to add in another one, because you can only have up to 5. Also, just wanted to note that on the notes, we do have suggested sites for stock images. And some of these also allow you to search by location. So you may be able to find some that fit your area better to customize the site a bit more. So feel free to check out those stock images as well. And with that, we'll click Save and Continue. And I'll go ahead and put those notes in the chat here, just so everyone has it, because we will be utilizing it here for this page creation on this next step. So first, this is the pages. So this one, we'll look at navigation first. So navigation is exactly how it sounds. So it's just showing us where we are in this setup process. So first, we're on the company profile. And just a heads up, you can click and drag to move these pages order as well. I generally recommend leaving the order as is, but you can change that as you see fit. But we're starting on our company profile. So one thing I want to mention, this page is completely customizable. You can add whatever information you'd like to it. The info we'll be adding today is kind of stock information, just so we can get the page live. But if you want to come back in here and manipulate this to maybe a team page, or maybe talk about areas you work in, whatever it may be, the opportunities are endless. You can add whatever you'd like, but we're just going to be adding in stock information so we can get this website live. So with search engine optimization, so SEO, this is where we can select the page title. So what the page is going to be called on your website. For the company profile, we generally put the brokerage name here as the name, but you can put whatever you'd like. So for Lori, I'm going to put her brokerage name. And just so you can see what we're updating, so this is the title of the page. So from this menu drop down, we're updating this page title here. And then we have the slug. So this would be the ending part of the URL. So if she wanted to share this exact page with clients, she could send the full URL, including this ending slug, and it would take them to this specific page. We generally leave this as about us, but feel free to change it as you see fit. Especially if you're using this page as a team, you could say about the team name, whatever you'd like. SEO description. So this is going to be the little blurb that describes what your page has. So if you've ever done a Google search, it typically has the name of the page as a clickable link, and then a little description describing what the page is. And that's what the SEO description is. So these can be edited as well later. So if you want to leave that blank, you certainly can. It's not required to move on. But I'll just put why work with KW agent. And then we'll expand content. So this is where we're going to be copying and pasting from the notes. So if everyone can pull that up first, I'll go ahead and pull that up. So you'll see that this is broken down exactly how it should be inserted. So whatever section we have broken it down for you. So I'm gonna pull my notes up to a different page, so I'm not jumping back and forth on you. But for the page header, I recommend matching whatever you have for the page title just to keep things consistent. So I named this the brokerage name, so I'm gonna keep that as the page header. And then I'm going to be pulling from my notes. So we've got the intro paragraph here. I'm just copying and pasting exactly what it says. We've got, for section 1 header, we just delete it. For section 1 paragraph, copying and pasting what we have here. Section 2 header, same thing, we just go ahead and delete it. Got our section 2 paragraph. We got our footer title. And contact us today as the footer paragraph. And I generally recommend putting your contact information here again, either a phone number or email, whatever that may be. Just to have your contact information on as many places as you can is always a good idea. So maybe putting your phone number after that may be good. But you'll see the preview over here. That looks great. And I think with that, we're good to move on. So just copying and pasting that information for this, but once again, totally customizable. It doesn't have to, this is just stock info. You can add in whatever info you'd like. Even add in images if you'd like. And can click continue. So navigation, again, we're on the second page. We're on the About Me page, just to show where we are. SEO. So for the page title, you can leave this as About Me. Also, if you want to maybe put your name, so like About Lori, or about the team name maybe. I'm just gonna change it to About Lori. I do recommend whatever you do for your page title, that you match that to your slug as well. So if you change that to About Lori, I would recommend changing the slug to say that as well, just to, again, keep things consistent on the page. And the SEO description. Anything here, so you can use a blurb from your bio. I'm just gonna leave this as learn more about Lori Godfrey. Again, it's not required, so you can leave it blank as well. So content. So before anyone panics, the bio preview is wrong. So if you guys are seeing your bio is missing those line breaks, no worries at all. Your website will display that correctly as long as it's correct over here on the editor. So the preview is not correct. Again, for the page title or header, I would recommend matching this to your page title. Fix that up. For title, so if you're a realtor or licensed real estate representative, whatever that verbiage may be, you can put that from your marketing profile title, you can put that here. I'd recommend putting that here, and then followed by of Keller Williams Realty, maybe your brokerage if you're on a team like Lori here, that's why she put that. Again, the bio title, so this is just about Lori. You can edit this if you'd like. Again, the bio, if your bio has line breaks over here, you're good to go. Or even if you don't, it will display exactly like this. Contact title and contact email and phone are added for you. So you'll see the phone numbers automatically formatted for us. Just make sure that this contact information is correct, because it will be on all marketing. And click continue. So navigation, we're on our last page here. And for SEO, so this automatically comes up as contact us. So if you're a solo agent, feel free to update that to contact me or contact Lori, like the About Me section. This can be updated. So I'm going to change this to About Me. The slug automatically is contact, but again, you can update this and add in contact Lori or leave it as is. And for SEO, I'll just say get in touch with Lori. So for content for this, most of this will be straightforward and already plugged in for us. So I'm going to match the page title with the page header. For the intro paragraph, this is optional. You can delete it and it will just say contact me. But I would recommend putting something here, maybe something like for all your real estate needs. Whatever slogan you may have, maybe you can put something here. It is optional, but if you do choose to just not use an intro paragraph, just make sure you remove that what was there previously, or else it will appear that way on your site. So message hint, this is going to be a suggestion for what you're looking for from your clients. So if you need to know something specific, you can definitely plug that in here. So you'll see on the preview, it's like prompting for what they should input in this text box. So maybe you're in an area where you need to know the county they're looking for or what neighborhood. You can add that in here and it will pop up as a suggestion. I've also seen agents put some line breaks in here just to make it a little easier to read. And it will appear just like this, so whatever you'd like. Also, another thing I want to point out here, for some reason, the contact page phone number is the only phone number that does not format the phone numbers. So if you'd like to add in those dashes here just to make that look clean, go ahead. And we'll click Save and Continue. Last step here. So now our website is good to go. If you did not have a website at the start of class, your website will take that 30 to 45 minutes to actually go live, so don't panic. But I do want to go over how to make edits on everything we just set up on the site so you can update this later. So if I click the X up here, it's going to bring us back to the consumer section. So we're in the consumer section, just in case. And it will bring us back to like those agent site pages that are live. And you'll notice that I have some duplicated pages. So they'll include the date they were added as well. So the first thing I'm going to show you guys is how to remove those duplicated pages without actually deleting the content. So essentially like how you hide pages from your site. So just to show you, I'm going to refresh her page, these duplicated pages here. So we do have those duplicated pages. But to remove those, we're going to go to Site and App Settings. So Site and App Settings in the Consumer section. And we're going to actually go in reverse order of these, but we're going to go through each and every one of these tabs. So starting with agent site pages. So this is where you can tweak SEO, any page title or URL slug. So if you click on the page, it will open up the editor for the SEO. And you can update page title, URL slug, SEO description. You can also add pages here. So if you're adding custom pages, you can do that by adding a page to make that live on your site. You'll see that the slug is already in use because we have a duplicated page. So the ones on the bottom for me are the duplicated ones. So I'm going to go ahead and delete those. So in order to do that, you can click on them and click the 3 dots to the right and click delete and confirm. So same thing with contact me. I'm going to click on it, click the 3 dots and delete. So this isn't deleting the page completely. It's just removing it from the live site. So these pages contents will still remain in Command's backend agent site pages. But now we just have these 3 pages live on the site. So just to show you, again, on her live site, I'll refresh. And those pages now are just the only 3 there. So again, this is how you can remove any pages. Maybe you want to pull down a page about a listing or event that's no longer relevant. You can pull that down from the live site here. You can also change the order of the pages here. So by clicking and dragging these 6 dots to the left, you can drag and drop in place. And that will reorder them as well if you'd like to do that. So moving on to theme. So this is, we talked about earlier a bit in the Kelly guides, we have a red and dark theme. If you want to toggle between these to see what that looks like, you can do that here. However, it does take 15 minutes, the full 15 minutes for that to reflect. So if you updated this and you're not seeing that reflecting, no worries, it just takes 15 minutes. Featured listings, clicking on the featured listings here. So the command site does allow you to have listings show up on your website. So this will display on the live site, just to show you where that displays. That will display under the search and above interested, let's talk. So a couple of things I want to point out here. You'll see that she has 4 listings in the back end, but only 2 on her live site. Just a heads up, this will only pull active residential listings. So if you are a commercial agent and have commercial listings, they will unfortunately not show up as a featured listing. Typically only active listings are able to be pulled as well. This does depend on your board. We have seen some boards allow pending listings, but typically it's active listings that can be added here. If you do have active residential listings that you're wanting to add, there is a little bit of a process to actually get this section launched. And there's a tip video of this in the notes to get it launched. Take a look at that because you'll have to launch this featured listing section before you can add them to it. But once you launch that once, you don't have to do it again, and you can update this as frequently as you like. So you just have to launch it one time. So take a look at those notes on how to launch that. For your URLs, so this is pretty straightforward. It's just letting you know what your website domain is. This is also where you can tweak it. So if you'd like to update that, it will take 30 to 45 minutes to launch once changed, just a heads up. And great question from the chat. I forgot to mention, these do have to be manually maintained. So any that you want to delete or add are not automatically deleted or added. So if you want to delete those, so if it's no longer active, theoretically it will be taken off your site, but you do have to manually maintain those, especially for adding them in. They won't automatically add your listings. That's a great question. All right, for URLs, back to URLs. So again, yep, you can update your domain here. You'll also see your app URL here. So this is a great place to confirm your app URL. If you're looking to share it, you can even copy it from here. And one more question with that featured listings question in the chat. So from what we've seen for compliance, I believe that you can add in other listings from your office is what we typically recommend. But I would reach out to your broker in charge on that or to the listing agent for that, just to get a confirmation that you can market their materials, because this can sometimes be a compliance thing, but from what we've seen, you can do featured listings from other agents in your office. But it's always good to check with them just to make sure that they're okay with that. And lastly, general. So general tab here. So this is essentially a way to make some quick edits without having to go through that full process of setting up your website. So you can update the hero text here. Again, the main text that displays on your home page. You can update the hero images here. Keep in mind that you will have to delete one of these 5 in order to upload your own. So you'll see this upload is grayed out. It's because 5 are already displaying, so you just have to press the icon to delete it. And also with hero images, on the notes class that I shared, we do have some suggested sites for stock images. And I'd recommend checking those out, especially looking up. You can even look up by your location. So you might be able to find some based off your area. So check out these free stock images sites if you'd like for those hero images. So the download app landing page. So this is not actually currently displaying on the website. So I would not worry about that yet. You do have the option to add a custom page to the website that promotes your mobile app. But as far as this goes, this is not something we've seen actually displays on the website yet. So this is going to be something that we believe will be populating within the next year. And then virtual tours. So if you have a virtual tour you've done, a video or additional floor plans, whatever you want to add, you can actually have the option to select the listing and add a virtual tour to it. It's essentially going to add it to all the KW platforms. So if anyone comes across the listing on a KW platform, that virtual tour will populate for you. That being said, if you have a virtual tour and your MLS allows for that to be added, still add it to the MLS, as that will allow it to syndicate to every single platform that your listing shows up on. So as long as the platform has an option for a virtual tour, some smaller sites don't, but adding it to the MLS will allow for that. So this is definitely something, if you have a tour, I would look at. So you can select the listing here and you can edit active tours here. And also, I will go ahead and share the notes one more time here, just so everyone has it. Let's see. That way you can utilize those stock images sites. And then we have some hidden preferences down here. So there's just preferences. So we have display color mortgage on my app and site. We have display color covered on my app and site. And we also have display neighborhoods on my agent site. I would strongly recommend, if this is disabled on your website, strongly recommend changing that to enable so that the neighborhood info can populate, and that's super helpful for your clients. So you can click Save Changes, and most of this information will update in 7 to 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes. Other than that, the URL is the only one that takes the 30 to 45 minutes, really. So I just want to go back to the agent site pages here. So agent site pages. I just want to show you what removing those pages from the live site looks like. So you'll see that they're still here. So you can still, if you click on these 3 dots to the right, edit them or delete them even. But you'll see this icon is not green. So it's just letting you know that it's not live on your website. So if I click on the 3 dots to the right here, I just want to show you how you can edit these pages as well. So if you click on About Me, for example, and click Edit. So the process for all 3 of these pages will be very, very similar. So you open that up. It will have the editor on the right-hand side, the preview on the left-hand side. Then we're going to go down to Configure Widgets. Oops, sorry. And then click the widget that we're editing. So in this case, the agent profile. So we'll click on this. And then here we'll see that same editor that we saw in the Kelly guide. So you can make any changes here. You can make changes to your bio here. Anything that you change though, make sure you click Save and Apply, and then Publish Page. So same process for these 3 pages. It will be Edit, Configure Widgets, click on the widget, make edits, Save and Apply, Publish Page, and you'll say yes. So yeah, that's how you can make some edits to your website as well, and those existing pages. If you do have something you are looking to add to the website and you're not sure how, feel free to reach out to us and we can point you in the right direction. I've also included the Website 201 class in the notes as well. That will go over how to add additional custom pages and just custom content to your website overall. But that's all for today. So if you have any questions, of course, feel free to reach out to us at support@scottleroymarketing.com. And I appreciate you all for coming today, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.